You know that moment when you're trying to follow a real English conversation, and even though you've studied, you just feel like you're missing something, like there's a secret code.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really common feeling. You find that the English people actually speak often has these, well, nuances and shortcuts you just don't get in a textbook.
Exactly. And that's really what we want to get into today. We've looked at a whole bunch of real-world situations,
Mm.
simple things like ordering coffee, but also travel, work chat, small talk, even how to complain effectively.
Mm-hmm. And the idea is to really unpack these moments, figure out what trips people up, and pull out some practical tips, things that can help you feel a bit more confident, understand a bit more clearly in those everyday English chats.
Okay, so let's start unpacking. One of the first hurdles, I think, is just how words sound. Different from the dictionary sometimes. My friend Daniel, he was in New York, and he wanted a croissant, you know, flaky pastry.
Right, and the pronunciation often taught is, well, quite close to the French, maybe like croissant.
Yeah, that's how he said it. But the person behind the counter, just a blank stare. He tried again, same thing. Nothing. Until another customer leaned over and said, "Oh, you mean a croissant?"
And see, it's not just one correct sound. It's about regional differences, the speed people talk. Sounds get softened, mushed together sometimes. It really shows why you can't just read English. You have to really listen to how it sounds in the wild.
Totally. Your ears need that real world workout. Okay, then there's idioms. My cousin Emma, she was working in Canada, pretty good English, but her manager asked her to touch base with a colleague.
Ah, touch base. A classic idiom. The meaning isn't obvious from the words themselves, is it?
Not at all. She was completely thrown. Like, was she supposed to literally go and touch something? A base. It took her a while and probably an awkward chat to figure I just meant connect or chat quickly.
And that's a perfect example of why getting familiar with these expressions is so crucial. They're, woven into everyday talk. Take them literally and you're lost. They're often metaphors, really.
So, the lesson for you listening is when you hear a new phrase, try to catch the context. Don't just look it up. How are people using it? And then maybe try saying it yourself. See how it feels in a sentence.
That's great advice. It's about understanding the sort of unwritten rules, how the phrase fits.
Okay, let's switch gears. London. My friend David moved there for work. He thought his English was solid, years of study. But the way his colleagues talked, totally different.
Yeah, that's a big one. The speed, the informal phrases in a casual workplace,
Mm.
it can be a real shock compared to textbook English.
Oh, yeah. He said they'd say things like, let's grab a bite for lunch. He was like, grab a bite of what turned out it just meant, let's get food. Or, okay, let's wrap things up at the end of a meeting.
And those phrases, they seem simple, but they rely on a kind of shared understanding, don't they? Grab a bite implies a quick casual meal. Wrap things up uses that image of finishing something neatly.
So, David's solution. He got proactive, started listening to podcasts on his commute, made himself join lunch chats even if he didn't catch everything. And importantly, he asked, like, sorry, what's grab a bite mean? Or could you explain, wrap things up?
That's so key, not being afraid to say, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Most people are happy to explain. And yeah, that constant exposure, plus asking questions, it really works.
It really does. And it's not just work, right? Travel is another big one. My cousin Sophia, off to Australia, felt pretty confident. But at immigration, the officer asked, anything to declare?
Declare. It sounds quite official, maybe a bit intimidating if you're not used to it in that context.
Totally. She just froze. Like, oh no, what did I do wrong? Did I pack something bad? She had to ask him to repeat, and then he rephrased it like, got any food, alcohol, lots of cash you need to tell us about, and then click. Declare just meant report.
It really highlights how helpful it is to practice common phrases for specific situations, like travel. Takes the anxiety down a notch, makes it easier to understand and respond.
Definitely. The more you know those standard travel questions and answers, the smoother things go. Things like, where are you traveling from? Or do you have a return ticket? It's just saying them out loud helps.
It's like packing a little mental toolkit for those specific encounters.
Okay, let's talk ordering food and drinks. Happens all the time. My friend Mark in the US ordered a coffee and the cashier asks, for here or to go? He'd never heard it.
Ah, yes. Very standard way to ask if you're eating in or taking it away.
Right. He kind of guessed to go meant takeaway, which it did, but that moment of panic. And he also noticed people saying, can I get a go instead of I would like a go? More casual. And then that'll be for the price. Can catch you off guard.
Knowing those specific scripts for common interactions like ordering food really builds confidence. It's about learning the standard way things are said in that context.
So practice saying things like, what can I get for you? Or that'll be $6.20. Just hearing yourself say them helps your brain lock onto those patterns.
Exactly. And that familiarity makes the real situation less intimidating.
Okay, let's tackle small talk. My friend Maria moved from Spain, felt totally lost with this at first. She knew grammar, vocabulary, but casual chat. Whole
Yeah.
different ballgame.
It often gets overlooked, but small talk is, well, it's the social lubricant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It helps build connections, makes interactions smoother.
So her first week, colleague asks at lunch, so how was your weekend? Maria kind of froze. In Spain, she said they'd ask what you did, but how was felt different. She gave a short answer, then the colleague said, oh, nice, what did you do at the park? And she realized, oh, it's not a deep question, just friendly chat.
Exactly. It's not about deep revelations. It's about finding common ground, making things comfortable with simple, polite back and forth.
She got better, started asking things like, do you like the weather here? Or
Huh?
what do you do in your free time? She learned to listen for cues. Someone says, weekend was great, wish it was longer. That's an opening, right? And she picked up on using, what about you? To keep it going.
Those little turns, keeping the ball rolling,
Mhm.
that's what makes small talk work.
Absolutely. And of course, English isn't just one thing, is it? British, American, Australian accents, plus all the regional ones, definitely adds another layer of difficulty to listening.
Yeah, understanding different accents just takes time and exposure. The key is patience and really making an effort to listen to a variety of voices. It tunes your ear.
Speaking of finding your way, I remember getting so lost in New York once, asked for directions to the subway. The person was helpful, but they just rattled it off, like, go straight left at the lights, it's on your right, super fast.
Native speakers often do that, yeah.
Yeah,
They speak quickly, use shortcuts like the lights for traffic lights, assume you know the basic landmarks.
exactly. Left at the lights, efficient for them, confusing for me. So for directions, it helps to know the basics. Go straight, turn left, right, around the corner, a few blocks away. And a good tip is to actually visualize it and say the directions out loud yourself.
That mental walkthrough, yeah. It helps cement the phrases and makes them easier to recall when you need them.
Okay, reality check. Sometimes things go wrong. You need to complain or report a problem. I was in a hotel once, Wi-Fi was dead, called the desk, said something like, excuse me, I'm having trouble with the Wi-Fi.
Nice and clear, polite way to start.
And they said, sorry about that, let me check. Then, looks like it's down building-wide, IT is working on it. And I realized, okay, stay calm, state the problem clearly, problem with, and then really listen to their response, catch phrases like check on that, working to resolve it.
And like we said before, it's totally fine to ask them to repeat or explain. Could you say that again? Or, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Perfectly normal.
Definitely. Now, picture this. Busy cafe, maybe Manchester, barista might just say, all right, what can I get you? Really casual, very different from a formal, how may I help you?
Shows the huge range of formality in English, doesn't it? Depends on the place, who you're talking to, even the city sometimes.
I remember being in like a really trendy part of London and just being surprised how informal everything was. Good reminder you need to be adaptable. So try picturing different scenes, formal meeting versus cafe chat, and practice saying things that fit each one.
That mental rehearsal is great for building flexibility.
Going back to directions quickly, sometimes it's specific landmarks. Asked for a museum once, they said, go straight 2 blocks, see a big intersection, turn left there. Again, clear, concise, but fast. You got to focus on those key instructions. Repeating them back helps.
Yeah, breaking it down, repeating it, helps you process it, especially when it's delivered quickly.
Small talk, again, it really is an art. Met someone, Alex, at an event. He just started with, lovely weather, isn't it? So simple, but it worked. Having a few easy openers helps, like, how are you? What have you been up to?
It's that gentle way in, isn't it? Establishes a connection without being intrusive.
Okay, professional world now. Virtual meeting. Someone says, let's circle back to that point later. Circle back just means return to it later. If you hear jargon like that, note it down. Ask someone later, maybe. Practicing those kinds of phrases builds confidence at work.
Yeah, getting comfortable with common business idioms really helps you fit in and communicate effectively in that environment.
Phone calls. Tricky without visuals. Called customer service once. They were very clear. Can you describe the specific issue? And later, okay, let me run a diagnostic test. Clarity is everything. Practice phrases like, could you repeat that, please?
Absolutely. Without seeing faces, clear speech and active listening are even more vital.
And announcements, airports, train stations. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Flight 801 is delayed by 30 minutes. Get used to that structure. Repeat key bits like flight delayed, unforeseen circumstances to yourself.
Knowing the typical language helps you filter the key info in those busy, noisy places.
Talking about hobbies, great way to connect. What do you do in your spare time? Oh, I love photography, hiking, trying new recipes. Use descriptive words. Practice talking about your hobbies. Okay, quick practice. Repeat these. How's your day going?
How's your day going?
Anything exciting happening lately?
Anything exciting happening lately?
Weather's been odd, hasn't it?
Weather's been odd, hasn't
Tell
it?
me more about that.
Tell me more about that. Good. Helps build fluency.
Right. Workplace meetings again, you hear things like, finalize the marketing plan by Friday, or confirm your availability for Tuesday's meeting. Often ends with, let's recap the action points. Clear, concise language. Practice saying those common phrases.
Professional settings value that kind of efficient, action-focused communication.
Dealing with service issues. Excuse me, the AC isn't working. Could someone look at it? Response might be, apologies, let me see what we can do. Speak clearly, listen carefully, practice those problem solution phrases.
Politeness and clarity usually get the best results when you have an issue.
Sometimes you hit regional stuff, slang. Like maybe in Australia, someone calls a good bargain a ripper deal. You won't find that in every textbook. Just notice it. Maybe ask what it means if you're unsure.
Yeah, real conversations teach you that local flavor. Adds richness to your understanding.
Social events. Focus on connection. What was the best part of your week? Oh, I had a wonderful time trying that new restaurant. Simple, positive words work well. Try using words like wonderful, enjoyable, fantastic.
Positive language definitely helps build rapport in social settings.
Digital world.
Yeah.
Email versus text. Very different styles, right? Formal openings, closings in email. Super casual texts. Adapting is key. Practice both styles.
Recognizing those platform-specific nuances is really important now.
Discussing art, culture. Vocabulary matters. This piece evokes such nostalgia. The bold colors represent conflict. Learning words for abstract ideas helps. Try describing some art yourself.
Cultural discussions are a great way to stretch your vocabulary and expressive range.
Academic settings. We will analyze the implications, or could you elaborate on your methodology? Active listening, asking smart questions. Crucial. Practice summarizing complex info you read or hear.
Academic language requires precision and strong analytical skills.
Spontaneous chats. Hear someone say, this coffee is amazing. You could chime in, oh really, what kind did you get? Practice jumping into conversations smoothly. Active listening first, then contribute.
Confidence in spontaneous conversation is a great sign of fluency.
Online forums, chats. Own language sometimes. That concert was lit, TBH. Observe the slang, abbreviations, emoticons. Understand the context. Maybe try using some carefully with friends online.
Understanding online communication styles is definitely relevant today.
Disagreements happen. Instead of you're wrong, try I see your point, but I see it differently. Can I explain? Practicing respectful disagreement language is really useful. Role play it even.
Constructive disagreement is a vital skill, personally and professionally.
Storytelling. Great practice. Start simple. Last summer, I went on this amazing trip. Use details. Make it flow. Okay, another quick practice round. Thanks so much for your help.
Thanks so much for your help.
Could you maybe say that slower?
Could you maybe say that slower?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
That sounds really cool.
That sounds really cool.
I'd love to join you sometime.
I'd love to join you sometime. Excellent. These are everyday essentials.
Think about dynamic events, like concerts. Announcer shouts, are you ready to have a good time? Match your energy to the situation. Practice expressing excitement.
Adapting your tone and energy makes your communication much more engaging.
Bookstore example. Could you recommend a good thriller? Bookseller. Certainly, this one has a gripping plot. Notice polite questions, descriptive words. Practice describing your favorite book.
Politeness and descriptive language really enhance those service interactions.
Public services, post office. Morning, how can I help? Morning, need to mail this, please. Pop it on the scale, please. Clear, concise, polite. Remember, please, and thank you. Practice these simple dialogues.
Formality and clarity are key for efficient public service interactions.
Doctor's office. How are you feeling? Well, I've had these headaches. Can you describe them? Clear communication about health is vital. Practice describing symptoms.
Effective health communication is critical for getting the right care.
Video calls. Can everyone see my screen? Any questions so far? Blending clear speaking with active listening is crucial online. Join webinars to practice.
Virtual communication requires his own set of skills for clarity and engagement.
Discussing news. Report says communities rally after floods. Your summary. News said people are working together after the floods. Summarizing helps process info and vocab.
Summarization is a fantastic tool for comprehension and language retention.
Group discussions. I think social media is revolutionary, but privacy is a concern. Response. Good point. How does it affect face-to-face interaction, though? Practice stating opinions clearly, agreeing, disagreeing politely.
Active, constructive participation in group discussions builds multiple skills.
Everyday shopping. Excuse me, where's the electronics section? Second floor, near appliances? Polite questions, clear language? Practice asking for help in stores?
Clear, courteous communication smooths out those daily errands.
Unexpected stuff. Sudden downpour. Whoa, it's pouring, let's find shelter. Got my umbrella. Communicate clearly, calmly. Practice these what-if scenarios.
Staying calm and communicating clearly under pressure is a great skill.
Friendly debate, say, food. Italian is best, so much flavor. Love Italian, but Thai has that amazing spice. Practice comparing, expressing preferences, using good adjectives.
Friendly debates help you articulate preferences and use descriptive language.
Nonverbal cues. Even on the phone, imagine the tone. Excitement, laughter, pauses. Try to put that into your own voice. Smiling helps, even if they can't see you.
Conveying emotion and tone, even without visuals, makes speech much more natural.
Just remember, every single chat, however small, is progress. Visualize yourself having confident conversations in the future.
That positive mindset really does help build confidence over time.
More nuanced situations. Dinner party. So thrilled you could join us. Let's toast to. This meal is divine. Practice more expressive, detailed descriptions. Describe a nice meal you had.
Using richer, more expressive language enhances social connection.
Professional workshop. Let's collaborate on solutions. My idea involves an app. Any feedback or improvements? Practice giving constructive input, explaining ideas clearly. Role play, explaining a project.
Clear, collaborative communication is key in workshops and team settings.
Negotiation. It's $20. Could you do $15? How about $18? Polite but clear about what you want. Practice phrases like, would you consider any discount possible?
Negotiation balances politeness with clearly stating your needs.
Brainstorming. What if we tried? Interesting idea, tell me more. Listen actively, ask good questions, summarize. Think about how you contribute best.
Effective brainstorming relies on active listening and building on ideas.
Unexpected interviews or presentations. Tell me about your work. Need to think fast, speak clearly, prepare a short elevator pitch about yourself.
Thinking on your feet and speaking concisely is incredibly valuable.
Use multimedia. Audiobooks are great. Try shadowing. Listen and mimic the speaker's accent, rhythm, pauses. Pick a short clip and try it.
Shadowing is a really effective technique for improving pronunciation and flow.
And don't forget language apps. Lots have pronunciation practice, listening exercises, often with feedback. Find one that works for you.
Technology offers great tools for targeted practice and feedback.
Okay, some basic everyday phrases to build confidence. Introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Name. Nice to meet you. Greeting. How are you today? Responses. I'm well, thanks, or good, how about you? Simple thoughts. I went to the park. I worked on a project. Showing interest. That sounds interesting. Never thought of that. Buying time. Let me think a second. More formal. I believe this is a good approach instead of just, I like this. Practice these daily. Look into language exchanges, online groups, listen to podcasts, repeat phrases. Progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. Consistency and focusing on small improvements are key.
Talk about things you love, sports, cooking, movies. Start simple. What did you do today? Like this movie. Confidence builds. It's a journey, ups and downs.
Passion makes learning easier and conversations more natural.
Practice naturally. Lunch with a friend. This is great. How'd you make it? Grocery store. Looks like rain. Post office. Can you help me? Share experiences. Had an amazing weekend. Ask questions. Answer questions. Keep it flowing.
Integrating practice into real life makes it feel natural, not like homework.
And practice alone. Read books aloud. Repeat TV lines. Talk about your day in English. Focus on making sentences, using words you know.
Solo practice builds that foundation and comfort level.
Expand vocabulary on topics you like. Sports. Big fan of team. Movies. Seen any good films lately? Clear communication beats complex words. Start simple. Learning English. Like this song. Add details later. Learning English for 6 months. Enjoying it.
Relevant vocabulary makes your communication much more effective.
Learn from mistakes. Heard a funny one about someone ordering coffee, asked for a spoon, not sugar? It happens. Laugh, learn, move on.
Seeing mistakes as learning opportunities reduces fear and speeds up progress.
Improving listening. Listen daily. Movies, podcasts, music, start with subtitles, then try without. Listen for rhythm, tone, not just words. Get used to contractions, I'm for I am, and linked words, what you doing for what are you doing. TV show chats, podcasts are great for natural speech.
Consistent exposure to authentic English is the best way to train your ear.
For speaking, mimic what you hear. Repeat sentences from podcasts, videos. Focus on pronunciation, rhythm, tone. Use a mirror. Record yourself. It's like practicing music. Repetition helps.
Active mimicry really refines your spoken English, makes it sound more natural.
Remember formality levels. Work email. Could you please send the report? Friend text. Hey, send that report. Adapt to the context.
Context is everything. Adapting your language is a sign of proficiency.
More work examples for clarification. Formal email. Just wanted to clarify, could you please elaborate on? Casual chat with coworker. Hey, didn't quite get what you meant. Explain again.
Knowing how to ask for clarification politely and effectively is crucial at work.
And really, the number one thing, consistent practice. Keep listening, keep speaking, don't be afraid. Progress comes from doing it.
Exactly. Continuous effort and engagement are what lead to fluency and confidence.
So the big takeaway here is getting better isn't just about books and rules. It's about, diving into real life, noticing how people really talk, and just practicing consistently.
Stepping outside the textbook, engaging with English as it's actually used day to day. That's what makes the difference.
Totally. So we really hope you take these ideas and, well, use them. Pay more attention to conversations around you on TV, podcasts, out in public. Notice the phrases, the tone, the rhythm.
And yeah, don't be scared to try using what you learn. Every attempt, even if it's not perfect, is a really good step.
Right. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. What specific real-life English situation feels the most challenging for you right now? And thinking about that, what's just one small thing you can intentionally practice this week to feel a bit more ready for it next time? Give it some thought.